Clinical depression, generalised anxiety disorder, specific phobia with panic attacks, obsessive-compulsive personality disorder, misdiagnosis, and autism. This is my list of personal diagnoses, past and current, and experiences with mental health-related conditions. Generalist classroom teacher, special education teacher, teacher of the deaf, neurodevelopmental therapist, and education consultant. This is my list of professional occupations that have given me experiences of mental health conditions. When asked to do this presentation, I thought, how do I fit years of experiences of mental health, and specifically of anxiety, into 15 minutes? My answer? Relate it to something I know, something that everybody knows, a universal language, music. I want you all to think of a song. Do it now. Any song you like, and just keep it in your mind. Anxiety is like a song. Just like a song, anxiety can be unpredictable. Or in fact, it can be predictable when one always experiences anxiety at certain times or in response to certain situations. Like a song, anxiety can be, and likely is, repetitive. It never goes away. You never forget it. A song is always in your head, even if you're not listening to it, even if you're not singing it, and so is anxiety. Think about that song that I just asked you to pick. Just thinking about it can trigger emotions. You don't actually need to be hearing that song to feel it. Anxiety is the same. One doesn't need to actually be in an anxiety-provoking situation to feel it. Just the thought of that situation, just a memory, that's enough. Like a song, one thinks of anxiety about when it's over. Sorry, just find my place. It can vary in intensity, like the volume of a song. Once a song starts, it keeps going. You can turn it off and you can turn it down, but it takes effort, and anxiety is just the same. We need anxiety now in our lives, just like we need music. But certain types of music, certain types of anxiety don't have a good effect on us. Like music, anxiety affects people differently. I will experience my own anxiety differently from how my husband will, just as he and I will experience different reactions to the same song. I had an epiphany just a couple of weeks ago that, like a song, we don't often know how our anxiety is affecting other people. If I don't ask somebody why they don't like a song, they'll probably just say, I just don't like it, or just turn it off. But I won't understand what it is about that song that they don't like. It's the same with anxiety. I won't know how my anxiety affects other people unless I actually ask them. Your children may need assistance with this, help to realise that their anxiety is actually affecting you or their siblings. But of course, not in a way that makes them feel they are the cause of that or feel negatively about themselves because of it, because they need you to understand how their anxiety is affecting them. Think again about that song you picked before. A recorded song doesn't change. The same song by the same artist is the same. It doesn't change. But the effect it has on you may change over time or from day to day. My anxiety doesn't change. It's my ability to manage it and to function with it that changes. I recently had someone ask me, how's your anxiety been? And I said, it's the same. Actually, no, it's a bit better. Actually, no, it's probably a lot worse. I don't know, it's just normal. I was asked by someone different to explain what anxiety felt like, and I replied, what do you mean? They repeated, what does it feel like? What do you feel physically and mentally? I said, I don't know. It's just me. It's just normal. I've recently discovered that teachers can assume that students they've identified as having anxiety themselves know what they're actually experiencing and assume that that student is receiving assistance for that anxiety. This is not the case. And many students, particularly girls on the spectrum, may just think that anxiety is their normal, because for them, it is. It doesn't go away. It's like when you're playing a song in your house and the neighbours are playing their music 10 times louder. My song of anxiety from my house is still on. It's still there, but it's just softer. So often, even when I'm happy, even when I'm relaxed, even when I am on top of the world, my song of anxiety is still there. But the song of happiness at that particular time is just louder, like the neighbour's music. But as soon as the neighbours stop playing their music, I can hear my song again. So how do we support girls and women on the spectrum with anxiety or other mental health needs? Acceptance and acceptance. I feel there are actually 3 forms of acceptance, 2 that we need and 1 that we don't. The first one that we don't need is a new term that I'm going to coin today. Acceptance. E-X-C-E-P-T-A-N-C-E. That's the acceptance where people say, I accept you for who you are, except when you do this. I accept you for who you are, except I won't invite you to my party. I accept you for who you are, except, etc., etc., etc. This is what your daughters, students, friends, etc. don't need. The 2 that we do need are acceptance from others and self-acceptance. I didn't have the chance that those who were diagnosed young to have self-acceptance. There are many young speakers out there, many young advocates, children, teenagers and young adults doing a wonderful job speaking so eloquently about their experiences. I too am essentially a child, a young child in fact, with only 5 years of existing with me with an official diagnosis and not even 2 years speaking about it publicly. I have a long way to go on the self-acceptance path, and that's okay because I'm a baby. There may be a number of you in the audience today or watching this recording who are also adult babies in this sense. If you don't truly accept yourself yet, it's okay. And if you can't talk about all of your experiences, like many people, young people can, that's okay. You're not alone, but keep going. You'll get there. Just as we need to support these young people to continue along their path of self-acceptance, we need to support each other too. Which brings me to the second required form of self-acceptance, acceptance from others. Surround your ladybugs and yourselves with people who genuinely understand their experiences. Not just people who understand, but people who unconditionally accept them without any exceptions. I'm yet to do this, and I know that it's my biggest barrier to positive mental health. It's so important, and it makes the world of difference to be in the company of a peer who has experienced the same as you. So number 1 is acceptance. Number 2 is communication. When someone is experiencing any form of mental health challenge or what is referred to as a meltdown or a shutdown, asking what they need or what you can do to help is supportive, but usually impractical. Evenly, as a fluently speaking adult, I can't always answer during these times. So ask yes/no questions so the individual can nod or shake their head. Do you want me to stay with you? Do you want me to stop talking? Etc. Number 1, acceptance. Number 2, communication. Number 3, find what will save that person in that moment and don't be offended if that thing isn't you. I love water. I need water. I crave water. The beach is my happy place, or even a lake will do. Water has saved me. I love music. I need music. I crave music. Music has saved me. Or more specifically, Josh Groban has saved me. I really probably owe him a dinner or 2. The difficulty with mental health is that it's often invisible. Last year in the April holidays, I spent 5 whole days in shutdown. not able to speak for more than a few sentences most of the time. I lay in a bed in a dark room with a TV on while my sister bought me food and water. When I returned to work 3 weeks later, most of my clients said, "How was your holiday? Where did you go?" They had no idea I was anything but relaxed and enjoying myself. And I assume the same would be for days like today. Sometimes the best thing you can do is just be present in the space, in the house, in the schoolyard. You don't even need to talk about anything. You don't even need to do anything. Just be there in case your child, your student, your person, whoever they are, needs you. To all of the girls and women on the spectrum listening to this event today, there are people who will understand you. They do exist. A couple of them I've been looking directly at during this presentation to allow me to get through it. They will understand you. They do exist. Just keep searching until you find them. Thank you.